So Kyle, a bit of deja vu, I guess, again, when it comes to the batting. What do you think it was for you and Marco especially that you were able to actually mount a bit of a fight back?
I think probably this wicket probably played a bit better than the previous test. I think what myself and Marco managed to do was just get through those first 20 odd balls. I think that's probably where we fell short the previous partnerships, is just that initial period. I think day one test wicket is always going to be tough when you come in, and unfortunately most of the batters didn't really manage to get past that, but I felt like myself and Marco put an emphasis on that first 20 balls, and then once we got through that it played really nicely. So that's just what we focused on. Unfortunately it didn't really work out in the end, but that was what we tried to do.
Just about the two dismissals that you and Marco,
Yeah.
what wasn't doing a lot to them on, so it felt like from the outside. So what did happen with the Cameron delivery? Start swinging suddenly in that spell for him?
I think he's 2 overs leading up to my dismissal and then Marco's dismissal, they started going cross seam, obviously just trying to rough up one side a little bit, and then I felt like it started tailing in a little bit. I don't know if it did, but that's what it felt like, and then the ball to me just held its line a bit, and then I don't know, I think maybe the same for Marco, but that was definitely a tactic from their side, just to try and get one side rough. They just went cross seam, and it seemed to pay off, because I mean previously or leading up to that there wasn't really too much happening with the ball, and the wicket was really good. So credit to them, they tried something and it paid off.
Yeah.
What did it feel like walking up to bat in front of 65,000 people?
Quite nice actually. I think last week at the Gabba was pretty cool. There's quite a lot of people there. I think we're chatting about it this morning. Lords is one of those special occasions, just because of like the heritage and all that stuff, but like the stage of a Boxing Day test match in Australia, MCG, not a sellout, but quite a lot of people here. That's just that whole occasion, and the I don't know, competition between South Africa and Australia, all of that, and then you get to walk out and play for your country is really, really special. So the occasion for me was awesome. Unfortunately it wasn't the best day for our team, but just grateful that I had the opportunity.
Kyle, great fight back from you and Marco, but it's the 7th straight test innings where South Africa hasn't passed 200. Skipper talked about going back to the drawing board after Brisbane. Just how disappointing was it today not to really sort of build on what you two guys managed to be doing there through the middle?
Yeah, I think today is probably a bit harder to accept than the previous 6 innings. I think if we look back at those games, if I remember correctly, or at least from our point of view, it was a lot of good balls, a lot of good bowling. And we sort of stuck to our game plans, and unfortunately the bowling was able to undo us. But I felt like today was probably the first time in the last couple of games that we've sort of, had more soft dismissals than not, and I think that's probably the disappointing thing. But I mean, the batters are still in a good place. I know it probably doesn't seem like that to the public, but behind closed doors, the work we've been putting in has been really good. Our preparation's been really good. The conversations we've been having has been really positive. So we've still got that belief. We just got to back our bowlers now to do a job, and then hopefully we can sort of back them up in our second innings.
Kyle, you've played very well on this tour so far. You seem to have struck the balance between playing positively and being able to rotate the strike while also maintaining a pretty tight defence and keeping good balls out. What have you done personally, and I don't think you speak on behalf of your teammates, but what have you been able to do personally that you think has worked so far in these two games?
I think England was a big learning for me. I think I mentioned it last week, although I didn't really score the runs that I wanted to. I think I learned a lot about my game, and sort of, I think going into a test match, sometimes you get focused in or get caught up in just trying to not get yourself out. But for me, it's been about just looking at areas that you can score and making sure that if you do get an opportunity to score, you take it. And then if you get a good ball, just make sure you try and keep it out. So nothing fancy from my side. I think just going back to keeping it simple has done the trick.
You faced a bit of the Aussies in this series so far. What does Cameron Green kind of bring as a bowler, as given he's not a frontline bowler per se, but how difficult or otherwise is he compared to the other four?
I think he's a bit different to the other 3 guys. I think obviously he's so tall, so he gets quite a lot of bounce, which is something different already. And then I don't know, I felt like he's got the ability to shape the ball a little bit as well. So that's something different. The other guys, obviously Stark shapes the ball, but I mean the other two right-handers are more seam bowlers. So I think he offers a bit extra there. And then I think because he's the fourth seamer and he's sort of playing in a batting role, they get to use him in short bursts, so he can just run in 2-3 overs, a lot of energy. And as a batter, you got to make sure that you switched on for those periods. So it's a luxury that they have.
There was a lot of talk about the pitch, the Gabba. This one looks like there's not nearly as many demons in it. Can you just talk about how it's playing and how it looks?
I said last week that the Gabba wicket was going to be decent, and then didn't turn out that way. So I don't want to say too much now. But obviously it looks a lot barer. There's not as much grass. Didn't seem like there was as much seam movement out there today. But we never know. I think there was already some balls that started turning today, so it might not be the seamers that come into play, but Kesh might play a big role. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but it definitely, judging by today, seems like a better wicket to bat on.
I think it was 5 for 10 at the end there. Coming into this one, had you discussed as a group what to do when you have those collapses, when you lose 2-3 wickets quickly, change the game plan? Was there something addressed coming in?
I think we try and address every scenario that we could face. I think you've also got to give credit to their bowlers. We had quite a big partnership, and we sort of put a lot of pressure on them, and they just stuck at it. And then when you lose both of your in batters, I think it plays into the fielding side's hands. So as much as you can prepare as much as you want for those situations, but I think when it happens like that, it's quite difficult. I think the conversations are more based on the top 6 and making sure that we have the runs on the board. We can't really be looking at the lower order and the batters and the bowlers and ask questions of them. So from us it's more about just taking responsibility up at the top, and that's where it lies.
We're going to start taking the last ones of questions as well. So when you spoke to us in Brisbane, you said that basically first innings maybe back the bowlers to be able to defend anything. So there wasn't enough in Brisbane in the end. That was too little. But after another collapse like that, does it dent your confidence at all, or do you maintain that absolute confidence in your bowlers?
No, I think the last innings, I don't know what they got, 30 for 4 or something like that to win. So I feel like we've put a bit of pressure on them with the ball already, or in the last innings there. So I think going forward, there's still a lot of confidence amongst us that our bowlers can do a job. In the field, the energy is quite high. Bowlers all look like they're bowling quite nicely and feel good. It's just disappointing that we've got to keep relying on them. It would be nice if we can, as batters, sort of put a target up for them for a change. But the confidence is definitely still there. I still feel like the boys in the change room can get the job done.
Were you guys surprised you were sent into bat?
Me personally, yes. I don't know what the rest of the guys felt. But I think just going on what normally happens here and just the look of the wicket, I think winning the toss, you probably normally look to bat first anyway. But I think if you flip the coin over, I suppose they've obviously bowled really nicely at us in the last game, and they probably just wanted to have a crack at our batters early on, so that's probably where the decision comes from.
Cool, last question.
Just David Warner, how was he looking to you out there in the hours that he was batting?
He looks fine. We've just been focusing on what we've been doing, to be honest. Haven't really been worried too much about him. It's just another batter at the end of the day. We've got to stick to our plans and make sure that we keep it nice and simple.